Good morning. This is the Tilting Tuesday show. I call this show a Tilting Tuesday. I'm going to actually present a poem and I'm going to just talk whatever that comes into my mind. Basically, that's what I do during my shows. I hope people understand where these things really go when I write poetry and when I use models. All those things were previously explained in videos that have been posted on YouTube and lonelypoet.org, different sites. Right now, I'm getting badly bitten by some sort of flies or creatures. We tried everything to get in. So I'm going to do a full fumigation of my house. I'm actually arranging that. It takes a little time for those guys to come. So I'm going to keep my legs up. I don't know, something is on the floor. I cleaned everything. We did to put banana peel. I got rid of all the fleas from there. But this is not fleas. This is something else. Something is biting me. Either it is my problem or something else. I have no idea. So whatever that is, I am having. My question really is, not my question. The question really came to me was, where are we going with presenting poems and making websites, things like that. How do we do a live show of our own? This came from the other groups. I'm not there yet. They are working on some technical things. So I'm going to do my own show. So this is where the question of how do I do my own show? Instead of even eliminating Ustream. I have to do my own show, and that is a question. To be or not to be, that is a question. It's not a technically feasible thing for me to really work on because I don't make money writing poetry or presenting poetry or doing shows and making websites. I don't really make money. I only spend money. I am not going to, it will not be financially viable for me to start a show where I can have, say, if I'm going to bring many viewers from there, the regular viewers, or to do a show, it needs a little more commitment from followers that they are going to come, and a lot of bandwidth. Say, by the time we reach, even if there were no live viewers, by the time we reach a certain number of viewers, it takes a lot of bandwidth, and that bandwidth is not simple. If I'm doing say 20-minute show, it takes about and there are 350 viewers. I need infrastructure in the range of at least $200 to $300 a month. That's not a simple thing to actually happen. This is not a one-time thing because this video is going to stay, and I'm going to that's why I actually say Ustream or YouTube or Facebook. Their video thing. They are massive organizations. They are huge. They make billions of dollars, so they have the infrastructure. I'm a one user thing, but even though the scale is very low, it still will cost me a significant amount of money monthly. I'm not going to. This does not. It just doesn't make any sense doing something for free for the service of people when I may have to use some of these things. But there is a point at which I may have to find a technically feasible way to do a live show, matching some of these things, not in scale but in quality. So that's the idea. So eventually we will reach there. I'm working with many people online and offline to see how that is possible. Once we get to that point, that is the idea. By the end of summer, at least, we should make it happen. That I should be able to come live when I like this, on lonelypoet.org. When I come live, you'll be able to see me alive, and the live thing will be recorded, and the video will be there in my site. it is technically possible, but what are the infrastructures we need? Looks like I may have to make a big investment, not very too big, some investment to get a server, a dedicated server where I don't have to share my space and time and all the other things. But right now, my lonelypoet.org is sitting on a shared website. It will not be technically feasible to do that there because even if say I'm going to go a little out of boundary and speak about some things, which some people, not all people are going to agree. It only takes about like what happened in Facebook. It only takes about 2-3 people to really screw the whole thing up. One person blocking me first and then deleting my friend's request and marking it as spam, and another person coming and marking one of my comment as spam. Then another person just decided, I don't know for whatever reason, unfriend me and block me. So they look at these different patterns, and then they have algorithms automatically sitting there to actually flag these things. So when many things are happening at the same time, that much I'm 100% sure. So, but here's the thing: my list of friends actually reduced from little more than 4,500, okay, to I think it is now 4225 or 43. So about 100 people have been lost in the last quarter or so. Say in the last 4 to 5 months, my friends, numbers of people who are added me as a friend actually significantly reduced. And if you look at that in the last 4 or 5 months, I haven't posted much anything there. So any of my viewpoints or things like that are coming in there, whether that is a reason, I don't know. Here's the thing: when I was actually making political comments there on my Facebook, putting political posts, criticizing Hillary Clinton, criticizing the Democratic Party, criticizing the Republicans, Donald Trump and his entire administration, calling them very bad names, the number of friends actually increased at that time. When I stopped doing all that, I said, okay, I'm done with all these politics. And I myself eliminated a lot, but after eliminating all of them, there were a little more than 4,500, and now it have reduced considerably. More than 100 people are gone after that. So these psychos were there either as trolls, they were trolls, because I'm making political statements, or they were just there to hear these extreme viewpoints, where I'm actually criticizing both groups. I'm standing in the middle of the political spectrum and criticizing both. So that's one of the aspects we should actually look at. Say, if I'm making anything like that, then if I'm in a shared hosting site, the hosting site can come and tell me, oh no, you can't make such statements, or you cannot play music. Then I have to justify this music is coming from a free website, or this music is available for free, or I'm playing from YouTube. Then it becomes a part of my broadcast, when I record. So I don't want to take copyrighted material and put it out there. So that's why even when I record, there is absolutely zero music. I don't really do that. If I'm just doing a live show like in iVlog or any other website, still they can come back. When I was doing shows on Blog TV, they were actually telling me, there are times when they actually told me, you cannot play this particular piece of music because it is a copyrighted material. So I ended up using music pieces coming from NewsOpen. NewsOpen is a website where you can go and download or play copyright free music, classical music. So it is a very nice website, where you can, if you want to use pieces of music, then I find copyright free music, pieces of music like heavy metal pieces, and make my own stuff out of that. So I find a piece of riff, from there, then I add something to it, or I actually stretch it so that it lasts for like 5 minutes. So things like that, I used to do that. So this is not a new thing, or this is, these are things you may face when you actually go through this. So that's why, even starting a website and running a website with video blogs, it is very very tight, because the problem is, you have to constantly keep an eye on it. If you are not making any money, if you are doing, because it is technically feasible, it is technically feasible to actually come with these infrastructures, and but allowing other people to do it. The problem is, what are they going to bring in? Some people bring in this copyrighted material, some people bring in porn material, some people bringing in things that is not desired, it's violent things, things like that. I was just about to say things not desired, no, it's violent and vulgarity, then sexuality, discrimination. Then it comes to free speech. All these things you need to deal with. Then you have to define what do you mean by free speech. Why would I go through all that if I'm not making money out of it? That is a $1 million question. Of course, you can make money. You can put advertisements and make money out of it, like many other sites do. But that's not my job. Yeah, I have other things to worry about. 24/7, I cannot sit on it. Then I might hire people. Then I become an employer. I don't want to do that. I just don't want to do that. So that is one of the things. That was what I was actually telling them. Not earlier today, yesterday. I was away from here, but I still was giving them a message. Okay, this is what it is all about. It all comes down to the not just the technical aspect of it, even with the monetary aspect of it. It may cost like $200 to $300 every month to actually have such an infrastructure for maybe 1 to 5 users. I can take about 4 to 5. That will bring more audience to the place. But then the thing is, I may have to, once one or the other person will have to actually take up a leadership and say, okay, this shows, should actually contain this. I said too many this. A show should contain certain aspects. Copyright material should not be there, porn should not be there. Then I have to define what exactly it means by porn. So it is a group decision then. I'm not going to put myself in as part of a group and tell other people to do what they have to do, or let other people decide what I should do. So I'm not going to put myself into that situation. So that's why I said, okay, each and every person can have their own shows, or they come and they should actually generate a website like what I do. This is the point. We are actually, let me find my flip flop. Crop. This is where I'm actually coming in with an idea. HostGator, A2 hosting. These two are, iPage. That's the third one. These are the 3 pages where my sites are sitting. Okay. These sites. One second. These sites, they have shared infrastructure. This shared infrastructure we can use, like what I am doing right now. Don't go into contagious scenarios. Okay, don't start abusing people. I know there are 2 sides to everything. There are people who do extreme shows. They can do that in one of these. There are other websites that allow you to broadcast whatever that comes into your mind. That's none of my business either. But coming to a point of like authors and like poets and people who writes poetry as well as plays a little music, not that. Look at that. There's a guitar sitting there getting dusted. I haven't played it for a while now. No time. But the thing is, what I'm saying is, when people who want to do things like that, like those folks who ask me, please understand that I can do a show, or you can do a show like this on Ustream and connect it to your website. Make a WordPress video page like what I did, and do your thing in one of these forums, but connect at the same time. I don't know what will happen. It kind of blinked. Technical glitch or I don't know what is going on. Maybe I didn't touch it. It was going into this thing. Screensaver. No, I don't have a screensaver, but whatever. So said all that, that's what you should do. Go and take a hosting, and I think for A2 hosting they have deals, $2.75 a month. You need to take it for like 3 years. So it may cost you like more than $150, but that's for 3 years. So when you average it out, then it costs you like $50 to $60 a month. Please take that. Then I will actually show you, maybe in a show that is a live show, or a recording, how to actually make these things. I am helping one of those people because I already set everything up. How did I set up like this? So the question was to actually how do you set up something like this? So that's how I do. When A2 hosting, they are very good. They are my first preference. They may cost you a little more. HostGator. I recently started. Their support is so good. Fantastically done. Everything is. They have all the automatic things. Where you don't need to talk to their support. You can do it all by yourself. If you are a little challenged technically, then contact me. I will actually tell you what to do. Now I am telling you what to do. I don't really like doing that, but for this purpose, yes, I will sit with you, guide you through how to do things, how to make it, and then if you once you learn better, you may be able to tell me how to make things better too. Because I'm not a super expert, but I can say for about 20 years of experience developing websites and writing JavaScripts and things like that. At least even if I don't physically write JavaScript these days, because they are all out there. You just have to go and find it, search it, and there are sites where you can find scripts. I can tell you all that. So that's where things are. So I'm like I said, this is actually a poetry show. But I am actually recording this in such a way that it is going to be put there so that people can listen to this. I will later put on the links in that place too, where people can click on it and go and sign up. Or you can it's not like I'm going to make money for referring you. No, I don't. What I will do is you can just say A2 hosting. I think that is the name of the website. A2 hosting is HostGator. You can go directly there and get those things. iPage, they are not bad, but I will not. You should be a little more technically good, because even I myself, when I first went there, it took like about 2-3 months of going in and out to decide whether to continue with them. But I continued because I had a serious problem with getting the email set up. So if you have a domain, and many people already have their own domain, where it is sitting with some WordPress or something like that. If you want to register a domain, they will give you a free domain. If you take 3 years, they will give you a free domain name. So those are the things you should consider, which one is viable for you. But A2 hosting and HostGator, they are pretty good. A2 is highly optimized. So because it is a A2 optimization is there, they actually added some of those plugins automatically to make sure your site actually works a little more faster. So they are a little more faster. And I don't know about the server infrastructure. None of these guys, probably they are all, but most of the things are pretty much the same. So that's where things are. So I will come back to it. Once whoever decides to do this, once they come back and ask me, I will answer. Generally, I will leave some guidance into it. But right now, I myself don't have information as to what exactly you need. you need to actually have a credit card, or go get a gift card if you are paranoid in using my credit card. But I paid my price. Somebody stole my credit card number, not debit card number. I am a stupid guy who uses debit cards instead of using a credit card, because I don't have a credit card. I canceled all my credit cards in 2015. I have one credit card. I haven't used that, so instead of using that credit card, I used my debit card wherever I went. And some reason, somebody put some skimmer or scam, whatever you say, this scamming thing in FedEx office, I think, and stole my credit card number, started using debit card number, and started using it on Uber. They called me and said, okay, yeah, you haven't used it. Oh, okay, we are going to cancel your card number. I was like, shit. So that happens, that happens. So if you are, but I'm still not paranoid about using my credentials online, but I will be more careful next time. So if the site is questionable, what I will do is I will actually go ahead and take this thing, number, and I know what I want to really say. It is, get a Visa, gift card. I'll use it and then throw it away. That's it. It's easier. You pretty much go to a grocery store or a drugstore every day. Every other day you just walk. I walk through, Walgreens or CVS Pharmacy. They are on the way. When you are coming on, get couple, or you always keep couple of them with you, so that if you want to use it for some reason, use it. Or use PayPal. PayPal also I am not going to actually suggest you, because it is questionable, because they can come to your connecting to your account, so they can drain your account very fast. Or can only use it on a credit card with PayPal, or get PayPal credit, things like that. Now I'm giving you ideas, to use, how to use a credit card number too. There are multiple ways you can get scammed. That's out there. Be careful. Be very, very careful when you set up things in online. So coming down to where this poem is, okay. The next thing is the Tilting Tuesday. Tilting Tuesday is, okay. When I say Tilting Tuesday, Tuesdays, most of the Tuesdays, I don't really like Tuesdays. My dad never liked Tuesdays. He always calls it, no offense to any of the people connected to this, saying he calls it Barber's Day. Because those days, Tuesdays in India, barbers are off. No barber will work. Barber means, okay, people who come. In old times, I have seen my grandfather, many of my uncles, my father himself, when they actually on pretty much every day that a barber will come. A barber will come to the house, take, give them a shave, cut their hair every 2 weeks or 3 weeks, they cut their hair, keep it trimmed. But every day a barber will come and give them a shave. In old times it was like that. In the early, when I was very young, early 70s, I have seen, the barber will come to and shave my grandfather. I go there with very curiosity. I will look at it, because they use all these, sharpening their knives. My God, those razors are like really, really sharp. And I was very afraid of, when they use it on me. When I go for a haircut, they actually, adjust my whiskers. I was like, I was like, ugh. And once I got a cut, I think on my right side, I got a cut inside, because I shook my head. So I never liked Tuesdays, because my dad always said, this is a barber's day, nothing will go good. And maybe because of that prejudgment, because I became judgmental on that, not because of anything to do with barber, just it's a day that doesn't really work. So I call them Tilting Tuesdays. That means it either has to take the good of the Monday, or it has to take the good of the Wednesday. So first part, it takes some good of the Monday. The second part, it takes some good of the Wednesday. So there are good things that happens on Tuesday. So it's a Tilting Tuesday. There are times when it cannot go either way. It stands on its own. and it does all the weird things. Many weird things happens on Tuesdays. So that's why it tilts. If it is not tilting, it's bad. So let's see whether it's going to do any good this day. But I'm not going to leave empty-handed. I'm not going to leave you empty-minded. So I'm going to take something from here, which is showing my own face to you. I'm going to actually give you a poem you can take. It's not a bad poem. It's called The Whistling Winds. Whistling Winds. Okay, this poem is this is a time of my life when I kind of was settling down. I was 40 years old, 2010, 40 years old, and I'm in the four part of it. Okay, and that means, okay, I already passed 3 decades of my life. I'm on the 4th decade of my life. I kind of had, unlike now, I kind of had a look in a tilting way, like the tilting Tuesday. Okay, I thought I can take many goods I have done in my past, many good things, and eliminate the weird things and the bad things from my life. This is a point where I can turn things. Okay, you think in one way, but things happens in a completely different way. But that's what I will come back to. The tilt happened when I try to look back at the good things I have done. It is a very surprising factor that the good things I have done kind of outshone the bad things I have done. So this is where people will actually go a little bizarre, saying, "Well, I haven't done certain things even because I thought it is bad. But now that I look at it, it's not that bad." You understand? And I'm not going to, bullet point each and every one of them. But I'm going to actually say, generally speaking, that's what I thought at that time that came to me. I haven't done certain things because at that time, like in my early 20s, my early 30s, which I was in early 20s, I was in India, early 30s, I was in the United States. In the mid of my 20s, I was kind of in the middle of it, so there was a transformation process, natural transformation process that happens to people. For especially males, they actually come and make one of their change that happens in their from their childhood to that adolescent age, and from the adolescent age, that hormonal explosion and other things, they come to late teen, early that is another transformation. Then there is another transformation that happens in pretty much between 25 and 30 years of age, where they actually transform and become from a boyish man to a man. That transformation actually brought me from India to United States. So what really happened for me was, it was a complete turnaround, because as I changed from one place to another place, if I stayed in India, I would have been a much more serious man. I would have never done this. I would have never done, I would have been hardly using Facebook. I would have been doing my own business. Probably I beat somebody up and end up in jail. I don't know what but I would have been a much more serious man. But I didn't do that. I just came to the United States, took a turn, and that itself turned everything around. Then what happened was, it all became very childish. All the things that were happening was like 10-15 years back. I was acting like a just out of high school guy, or a guy who is in a middle school to high school, that transformation. So that act, of in my 30s brought to my 40, and this is the time when I wrote this poem. I looked at the things in a romantic way. When I say a romantic way, not because everything. When somebody says romantic, immediately some folks have the habit of taking things in a sexual way. It's not sex. It's nothing ever connected to sex. It was a romance. I wanted to romance somebody. I want to romance somebody. I want somebody to romance me. That was the thing. I'm very honest here. I wanted somebody to really, really, romance me. don't think that romance always end up in marriage or sex or other things. But romance, just romance me, just please romance me. That was the kind of things that were happening. He ended up in many weird situations that took me into a lot of trouble. Excuse me. I'm almost running out of tea. When that happened, one of the romantic situations that I was actually pursuing, where I thought, okay, that person is romancing me, that's a time when I understood, okay, the romance I was thinking about is not there. It was a fake situation I myself made up. And that fake situation which went to a girl, and the girl also started faking things. So it was all one fake to another fake to another fake, it's kind of going back and forth, and which made me evaluate, okay, what actually takes to call these faking. Why would I fake like a teenager trying to boast himself, saying that, okay, I am a man and I can do this, I can do that, I can, I've seen teenagers, they do all the weird things in front of their girls to show that they are man enough to handle her, man enough to impress her, man enough to have her, so all those things were done. And unfortunately, that was not my case, because, there it goes again. Oh, there, this is screensaver. Okay. Because I'm not touching it, I need to come back to it. I hope it stays. Yeah, it stays. It kind of blanked. I mean, I don't know if it blanked out, in the show. I don't know whether it gets cut off the show. Okay, it doesn't look like it did. But when it came to those kind of impressive scenarios, because I need to keep clicking once in a while, those impressive situations, I just said, it was not my case, because I was very older. I was too old to do many things which people were doing. When I deliberately went and did things like people in their teenagers do, because I don't know, for some reason it was all weird. I mean, because I came here and I was with young people, very young guys and very young girls. Some of the girls were only in their late teens, like 18, 19. Most of them were 19, because the group of girls I was associated with were all from a specific age group. Say not age group, I'm specific class group. They were college students, hanging out with a group of people. So that's how they connected to me, and then I connected back. But the thing is, it didn't really move. So all the weirdness of that young age was coming back to me in a different place, in a different culture, in a different context. But the underlying activities all became same. That actually took me to the 40. When I reached 40, I was like, now I need to take a 180-degree turn to become a little more serious. But when I look back, there are certain things I haven't done. So went back. So some of the things were taken back. That's what in many talks, where we actually decided, is this really a really weird good thing to do? Many people have gone through this. Some people call it mid-age crisis, all these things. But yeah, you call it whatever. But this is what happened, and now I am in the late 40s. I am not looking back. But there is no tilting backwards. Understand, the Tuesday, if I am, is not looking towards Monday. The Tuesday I am is looking towards Wednesday. Where there are a lot of things I need to start. That 40s, there is a point at which I thought that girl who actually I understood was dating somebody else, even though she was, kind of trying to impress me, and I was trying to impress her. When that happened, I understood that, okay, yeah, she's in another way dating another guy, behind my back, well, there's no back here because we were mostly online, and then offline she's actually having a relationship. So that's I'm not angry at her or anything like that. At that time, I was a little disappointed that yeah, all the things I tried to impress her with didn't work. So I was disappointed. Yes, of course I was. I have to accept my failures and accept my losses. That's this poem. Okay, the whispers of winds, and it came to a point. The relevance of this, when I always say the relevance, I'm going to post it a little later on lonelypoet.com. There's a picture of a girl also I chose. Okay, that is going to be associated, not the real girl. This is a completely different. It says from unsplash.com. I actually take pictures from there and use it. This is not the girl I dated or tried to date or things like that. The reason why the relevance came was the look ahead. At that time, I was looking at I was the tilting Tuesday, looking backwards and then looking ahead. There were things I thought I didn't do for just doing it. I went and did from in my early 40s. Okay, it was fun. It was fun. I enjoyed life to the best of it. Like even last year, I was telling my one of my best friend here that if you put me in 1998 in the United States, I will do the exact same things now because it is part of life. Life is something you enjoy doing, enjoy living. If you are going to just sit and cry through life saying I haven't got this or even if I haven't done it, even though I'm not a rich man to do certain things, I decided, okay, this is the time I have to do this. Because if in my 60s I'm going to do that, whatever I did in my 40s, that is wrong. That is just plain wrong. Even in 40s it was a little icky, but yeah, I did it. I know I have done everything in my life, and now I'm here. And this is the time. This is the time when I actually had the look ahead. I had an impression of a girl in my mind. That is the end of the poem. That's why when it comes to this point, it is relevant because the look ahead have that impression. And that girl, I think, is rare in real around me right now. I think it is there. And in all honesty, that is the prayer. May that be the real. Because I'm going to make an announcement here right now. This is the end game. If this girl is not the girl to take ahead, go into that, it's not the Wednesday. End of story. There are more girls. Okay, I'm done. I have no love, no marriage, nothing. End of story. I will live the rest of my life alone. That's it. Because I can't do this. I can't take all my feelings from one person to another person to another person to another person. Then go around. I'm going round in one place for the last 2 decades. I don't want to do that. This is the end game. So that's where it comes. I know there are a lot of people. I laughed at myself. There is nobody actually chatting with me or writing chats in this thing. There is no chat at all. I'm not even looking at the chat. Even if there is somebody, I don't see any new viewers on Ustream. I don't have any followers in Ustream. So at this point, this is all coming down to that one factor. There is that person that impresses me. I hope I'll be able to impress that person, that girl, and get ahead into that Wednesday. Or I may become that Tuesday that will become weird. Okay? What happens when the Tuesday don't tilt? There are a lot of bad things going to happen. Keep the fingers crossed and see what happens. Let's see. But this poem is about that. If you look at that, that's why there was no explanation. There were no explanations for this poem when I first posted on Facebook. But this is the explanation for that because it's going to take a weird turn. So here we come. I'm going to I think I'm on Windows, so I'm going to actually show the poem. Let's bring this in. There you go. The whistle of winds. The noontime sun upon the roads blazed, mirages shone, streams flowing ahead. Oh, a journey for fun once started, then became a passion in which thrived, now became a burden unwanted. Silence deeper in the soul penetrated, gone by days in memory like viewmaster images stored. Oh, what a wonderful life it was for many others, still images fading colors, passed with every click of the clock. Choices well made, fate betrayed, still the joker inside joked. The masters of life drank from the streams ahead they saw, intoxicated they lived, losing the sharpness of senses. Oh, from among those who lost and senseless spoke, who all convinced in the sorcery of evil as the light of life, ran far, far away, though the mirages kept on hunting. The movement stopped, nothing of life seen anymore, the mirages so thick, fear of drowning in mind filled. Oh, then the silence from soul erased, as the whistles of winds, ears both in body and mind heard. In it were a well-composed tune that gave me your feeling of love. I'm going to show the picture. I believe I can. There. This is the picture that is going to get associated with the poem on in lonelypoet.com. I had another picture in mind, but that picture, the face is not there, not purely visible. So this is a picture that is going to come with it. It's not a very extremely poetic beauty, but I don't know. I mean, that look in her eyes, yeah, kind of caught me. I'm going to come back. And let's see where we are when it comes to time. 41 minutes. Okay, I was thinking about 45 minutes. Okay, maybe I will push it to 45 minutes. So that is the poem. Why I am actually showing writing a poem or giving a poem right now, taking this poem, because of the look ahead. Like I said, it is becoming cumbersome for a man to actually take all the feelings you give to a person and then one day decides, oh, okay, I can't deal with this anymore. I can't deal with this person anymore. I don't understand her anymore. Okay? I'm not that person. I'm not. In my entire life, I was thinking, even when people were asking me, okay, why don't you get married so that you can get a green card? I said, no, I'm not that kind of a person who will marry to get a green card. I want to get married for one reason. I want to get married and have a happy life with a girl. Give happiness to a girl, take her happiness, and share her happiness when we share happiness. Okay? And there will be sadness, we share that. That's what I want to get married. The reason, there is no other reason where I want to get married. I don't want to get married for the money of it. I don't want to get married because of any green card or brown card or black card. I don't want to do that. If I'm not married, I'm not married. There is no reason for me to jump up and down. If I'm not married. I lived nearly 50 years, without marriage, without being married to anyone. So I can live another 150 more years without being married to anyone. But I like a girl. I like the girl. And recently, when I was actually praying, one of our very auspicious day came. On that day when I was actually praying, I said, "Okay, God, you know how my life was. It was not the perfect of the lives. It was not the most beautiful things happened in a man's life. But whatever that happened, I found the beauty of things within that. I found a happy moment in that where I smiled. The beautiful thing I really stood and enjoyed, touched, felt through my five senses. Then there are times, parts of things where I should be sad, where I was sad. There are parts of where I should be disappointed, where I took the disappointment. There are parts where I have a lesson in it, which I took a lesson of it. So that completes the circle. So this is not the completeness of life. This is only the half of it. The other half, there should be a better half coming in. And I know this particular girl. Okay, let us have a loving life. That's what I didn't really say. Let me have her, or let her have me. They said, let us have a satisfying life, and in which all these things are going to be there. That's the thought. Those are the thoughts that actually brought me to this point where I'm actually giving you this poem. There are poems like this, I may bring more poems like this, but today is Tilting Tuesday. Let's see how it tilts. Okay, you all have a fantastic Tuesday and the rest of the week. I'll be seeing you tomorrow probably. Okay, bye bye.